Hello, this is second homework for Intro to CS class, and for this homework we had to solve four tasks. The first one is to check which shape has larger area, a triangle or a rectangle, when the base height and base are given. So if we watch our code, we'll see that here in exercise 1, we the user has to input four values: uh, height of triangle, base of triangle, and height of rectangle and width of rectangle. And then the program computes the areas of triangle and rectangle, and then it checks if those areas are bigger than or equal 0. Otherwise they are not valid, and the user will get a message that he or she has inserted invalid numbers. uh, if the uh, values of areas are bigger than or equal to 0, the program then checks if the area of triangle is bigger than area of rectangle or not. If it is, the user will get a message that area of triangle is bigger. If it is not, the program will check other condition if areas are equal. If they are, the user will get a message that areas of shapes are equal. If they are not, then it means that the area of triangle is less than area of rectangle. Uh, Hereby, the program will print that the area of rectangle is bigger. For example, if we put some 8 here and make valid numbers, and then type node x1gs, it will say that area of triangle is bigger because the area of triangle is truly bigger than area of rectangle. And then if we put 4 in place of 8, the both areas must become equal. So if we execute our program, it will say that areas of shapes are equal. And if I put 2 here, the area of triangle will be less than area of rectangle. So while executing, the program will say that the area of rectangle is bigger. If we put a minus on some values, uh, it will show us that we put invalid numbers, inserted invalid numbers, so our program works fine and correct. The second task was to solve quadratic polynomial, quadratic equation, log all possible solutions, and also consider the case when a is 0. And if we go to exercise 2gs, we see that the user has to input three values of a, b, and c, and then the program checks if a is equal to 0 or not. That was the case described in task. If it is, the solution of equation will be something like this, and the program will log the solution, log that the solution for polynomial is minus c over b, which is the solution of x. If a is not equal to 0, the program will run this part of code. For example, uh, it will run this part of code and calculate the discriminant of the equation and check its values. If it is smaller than 0, the equation will have no solutions and it will print unsolvable. Then if it's not smaller than 0 but is equal to 0, the program will print its only solution by a formula. And then if it is not equal to 0 and is not smaller than 0, then it is bigger than 0, and so the polynomial equation will have two solutions which will be printed on the screen. Let's take an example, and for the first time we insert a as 0 to check the a equals 0 part, and if we execute the program, it will type that solution for the polynomial is 4, which is basically minus 8, 8 over 2, which is minus c over b, which is true. If we type something like for a, something like 3, then 5, and then type 3, 5, for example 6, you'll see that equation is unsolvable, which is also true. And if we pick some numbers like this, which is a quadratic equation and has one solution, and the program will type us that it has one solution, and that solution is minus 1. And if we put here something like minus 8 or 7, it will have two solutions, and the program will print us those two solutions. So the code works fine and correct. Let's go to the next task. Next task was to print the length of the line from two points when the coordinates of the points were given, and assume that all numbers are 0 or positive. And for that, the user inputs four values, two coordinates for 2 points, and then the program computes the length of the line between those 2 points by the formula, and prints that length. For example, if we pick 0, 0 to 1.00, and the next point, for example 1 and 1, uh, the length of the line between these 2 points will be square root of 2, or 1.4 with something. And if we execute this program, it will print the right answer. In the next task, we had to solve the same problem, only where the coordinates of the points can be either positive or negative. Personally, I wrote the same solution because this formula works for all points on Cartesian plane, and so if we take x1 and the y1 as minus 1, and so we take minus 1 minus 1 point, and the x2 minus 2 1 point, the length of the line between them will be 2 times square root of 2, which is basically 2.8 with something. And if we execute our program, it will type something, the right answer, correct answer. So our program is cool and works fine. Here were the 4 solutions for 4 tasks. Don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel.